Hello and everyone, and welcome back to the finals of the IMO qualifiers. We have Willibomb versus Yetipeaks. You think Yetipeaks is going to win? I think Willibomb is. Yetipeaks could be the first tribal chief, first whatever you want to call them, king to retain their crown. What do you think of that? Is he the most likely to? I mean, look at this bracket right here. He's had to fight his way through, not coming through unscathed in any of the brackets, but yet he is here proving how good he is at playing as IMO. What do you think of that?
I mean, he's certainly the closest, right? We saw some other things like Mixu and Yadak earlier, but he didn't make it past the quarterfinals even.
He didn't.
I mean, if anything else, like maybe we'll see like world champion King Arthur return for Imperius later on.
You might do.
But,
Again, it could be an all-new lineup. Now, just to remind you, this is the IMO tribe. Just before we get going, give us a quick 10-second. What are these guys' strengths, weaknesses? What have our players been showing today?
IMO's the most versatile tribe in the game, like bar none. They have access to, early aggression, really tactical stuff with like low income. They have access to, developing their economy, pushing out giants really early. It all depends on the map, what the map gives you and how you react to it. So they're one of the strongest, but also one of the most testing tribes. Very difficult to play. This gives an interesting, unique game.
We have had a different game every single time we've been playing. The grand final, of course, is a best of 3. We're going to get going in just a second here. So we're going to see at least 2 matches from these two juggernauts. Willibomb versus Yetipeaks. Who will draw first blood? And will they sweep their opponent? These are all questions we're going to answer right now. Let's get going.
Right, and we have love of my life, Willibomb, down in the south.
Love of your life.
Yeah, I mean, there we were last night watching Ratatouille. Willibomb said the tournament starts at 6 a.m. for me. Maybe I'll just stay up all night watching Ratatouille. Not sure.
An interesting way to start.
Yeah, I think. Well, I mean, look at how far it's gotten him. So maybe there's something to it.
He didn't do that last time in the tournament, did he? So hey, maybe this will be the one. Now take me through these starting ones, these starting locations.
Yeah, so we're going for hunting again. I mean, just look at the number of animals they have, and really, it's look at Willibomb and the number of animals he has. My goodness. Of course, like the very key thing that you're looking for is how many animals they're starting out with. Do they have the animals to get to level 2 on both of their cities? Yes. But also, checking out his capital, and later on, I wonder if we're going to see an explorer here. He went aggressively after that, but looking at Yeti's score, not quite past that 1,000 point threshold where he'd trade 5 stars instead of 3. Also, not the best setup explorer, so we're going to take a workshop instead, playing very greedily, which is something you can do when you have a start like this. But I'm also wondering, why is he chopping all of his forests away to play greed? Yeti, on the other hand, does not have as many forests, doesn't have the crazy sawmill spots. So his chops, I understand much more.
His chops, I understand.
Wow. Yeah, it was headed straight north, but blocked by these mountains and redirected. Went every direction, went a long way, but didn't get all too much vision. So, seeing the level 3 upgrade on the capital, and we're just going to take that extra couple of stars over our opponent here. Nice to see, yeah, climbing picked up for the ruin and also some vision to the west. Should be safe to pick up that ruin unless we're going to see maybe a rider from... Yeah, no rider. So Willibomb is safe to step on there, but it depends on how confident he is in his ability. The veteran swordsman way in the back.
It's going to take him a long time to get to any sort of front line here. He'll make it eventually, I'm sure.
Yeah, so Willibomb's play to get the ruin safely is to just step on it, but he's going to let Yeti step on it and then convert his unit, looks like. So he's already buying climbing.
Whose reins would you rather take at this point? Who would you rather be in, Willibomb's shoes or Yeti?
I like Willibomb's position for the tactics and the early economic advantage he's accrued. But if you're looking at Yeti's position, look at the villages that he has yet to capture there. We're not seeing those, 3rd and 4th cities for Willibomb yet. And also, it's difficult to launch an aggressive attack. Like, I mean, Willibomb's going after the riders. It looks like that's what he's angling at. But like, where is the attack going? Like, he's gonna have an easier time picking up that village, like competing for that village anyways. I don't know if I'll actually be able to pick it up, just considering how far away it is from him. He doesn't seem to have the village prospects that Yeti does. I do still like Willibomb's position better, but very even, if asymmetrical. We gotta see what's from the ruin, though. If he gets another veteran swordsman that's actually really close to the capital combined with these riders, it could be very different. Yetipeaks can't be happy about losing that ruin. Got the Mindbender up in a very aggressive spot too, to go ahead heal off any damage that his riders might take.
Well, we've seen aggressive Mindbenders they've been the order of the day today. They've been very definitive one way or another.
Yeah, it's kind of incredible. Like, this is not how Mindbenders are supposed to be used. But and yet, the players aren't interested in, you know, what's supposed to happen. They're interested in winning, so...
Said that, do you think Yeti's kind of maybe a little bit nervous seeing the amount of troops outside his home?
Yeah, because these... I mean, I was giving it to him as an advantage. A Star Road, oh my goodness.
Nice. Star Road. Now, I also want to point out that... Willibomb, well, now he does, didn't know that he was there. Am I correct in saying that?
He didn't see everything that
that's what I mean.
Had. Yeah, and we're gonna see the Mindbender healing in action. It feels like, perhaps. Either he heals his Mindbender this turn, and he did it manually instead of the automatic by ending turn. Probably because he was considering healing, but I think what's going to happen is he heals the Mindbender this turn, and then uses the heal option to get his rider to 9 health on the next turn. But picking up organization to get this first giant. Getting the rider too, of course. I was assuming that there would have been a play with roads instead, but I think he was a few stars short of getting the rider as well as the road giant there. So Yeti's going to retreat back up to where he hopefully is not going to get his warrior killed as easily anyways. I think Willibomb still goes after roads on the next turn. Like, he banked 9 stars, so...
Had to be, right?
Yeah, some roads, some early aggression. If he can steal that central village, and, like, you know, he also rode his giant into the mix. Especially with the, like, a Mindbender so far out of the way, over capturing that village in the east. Then some roads to expand out to the east, maybe take an explorer there. Get his swordsman into the game too. There's a lot of stuff that he wants to do with roads, and he has stars, and I'm not seeing what else he wants to do, so... I'd be very surprised if he doesn't pick up roads before this village capture.
Is it bad that I wanted to do something else just to spite you?
I don't think it's bad at all. Okay. Okay.
Ha!
Well, maybe it's bad because I do die as a result of this, but...
Oh.
Big border growth.
Border growth there? Okay.
Yeah, stealing everything. Just picking up another giant. Does he pick up an explorer over in the east here, or just another rider up front? Looks like an explorer.
It's a big difference in
income, a workshop,
isn't it?
I'll get... Okay.
15 to 8.
I'm getting rage baited.
Can you really call it rage bait when you're a caster? Player didn't play as I would have.
I mean, I did.
This is true. No, you're correct. There you go. Another kill, 2 to 1. Now, just look at that. 10 units to 6, 3 cities to 2, 15 stars per turn to 8. We have to see something here from Yetipeaks. Remember, he is the reigning defending champion, so if there's anyone that can pull out an upset, it will be the IMO chief here.
Yeah, so I think Yeti's got some things working for him in favor of the, like, in terms of the tactics. Like, look at the mountains, the defense bonus he gets there. If he can keep his, you know, units like back there, like where it's inconvenient for Willibomb to kill, and they just keep doing this tit for tat. You get 1 unit of mine, I get 1 unit of yours, thing that they've got going on. Yeti is fine with that. Gives some time to. He's like, his units are cheaper too. Like, he's using warriors. Willibomb is using riders. So he's gonna spend fewer stars and, you know, just pick up the same number of kills while he gets his economy going, you know, gets his own giant. like after he equalized the city count there and picked up that last village, the income disparity closed a little bit too. After he gets a couple giants, like this is not like a long-term something for Willibomb to be Yetipeaks to be worried about here. What he might want to be worried about though is these two approaching giants, which I feel could have approached faster with roads, but I'm not the one playing right now.
No, you're not. Let's. Right, so we've got that ruin over in the east. Let's see what he gets out of that. Another star would be great. Right, a little bit of an attack here, bouncing back. Heal station activated. Oh, boring a little bit. There we go. Right in.
Going after some greedy vision is gonna get his rider attacked by this warrior, looks like. But no, Yeti keeps his eye on the prize. He's like, I'm not going after some damage on a rider. I'm going after trying to win the game. Actually, I need villages.
Yeah, the smart thing to do, trying to win the game in a competition. Who knew?
Yeah, it's like a keys jingling, like squirrel stuff with seeing the rider bounce in there and then forgetting immediately that no, there's a village to capture. No, it's actually much more important that it does that. Yeah, Yeti not able to go tit for tat after all the riders retreat. So some nice moves here. Doesn't need roads with the rider where it is, but picks him up to get these giants going in the game anyways. Picks up a nice fourth city over in the east. Willibomb's gonna try to take this central village. He took a few of the resources with that border growth, but like 4 fruits, like a road connection, like the forest he's got there. He's got mining too. So plenty of plenty to work with there. Could even giant with a monument. Depends on how he wants to get that though. Potential for like Grand Bazaar. There's a few villages he can grab, but he needs to pick up another rider down south if he wants to pick that up early. And just healing his rider, that's so close to Yeti. Not worried about what Yeti might do at all. We're gonna see Smithford from Yeti. This is his goal, like try to pick up his own giant. He's got forestry. Yeah. So he can go ahead and pick up border growth here, because he's not picking up that central city, and he wants to steal that very nice, very well placed mine. But Willibomb's rider is blocking it. There weren't Yeti didn't have the stars for it. Maybe he could have chopped to pick it up that turn. But with the rider blocking, there's nothing to be done about it for Yeti. Depends on how Willibomb wants it. A star ruin. Okay, that's how you want to start things off.
I did call it. Can I just say? Expert cast me seeing the future.
Yeah, I think Willibomb might want to drop his giant on the mine here just to prevent. He can get the ruin too. Okay, very funny. It might drop the one giant on the mine to block Yeti from doing anything with that. The other giant definitely goes on the city. He's letting his veteran swordsman approach the one from way back in the day, way earlier. Finally getting close to Yeti's capital and becoming a serious problem. Where does this one giant want to go? He might go all in on some kind of capital attack. He might be worried about some mindbender shenanigans. He might try to block. Yeah, he's going all in on the capital.
Here we go.
He is playing aggressively.
I mean, did we expect anything else from Willibomb? An uncharacteristic slow first game from him. Only to be oh, there it is.
And there we go. Yeah.
Willibomb wins
too much.
the first game in short fashion. My God, these games are getting quicker and quicker. I'm telling you now. We have less and less of a job to do. Fantastic stuff. Go on. What's your perspective on this?
My perspective is that this changes things like immediately. Like, who do I favor to win? Like Willibomb. Like, he's got one game down. He only needs one more. I mean, he only needs to win one game, yet he needs to win 2 games. What's more likely to happen?
The disrespect. Now, if Yeti comes for a reverse sweep, you're in trouble, sir. You're in a lot of trouble. There we go. Willibomb looking to continue the trend of no defending tribe chief managing to keep hold of their position. It could be Willibomb after failing in the semi-finals previously. having failed in the quarterfinals last week, to go and finally make it all the way to, I guess, what would you call it? The throw? I keep on calling it a throw. Tribal chase? Yeah, we'll call it the face-off. There you go. I need more like tribal vocabulary in my repertoire. Now, let's not forget this is, of course, a best of 3, and a reverse sweep has been the most likely outcome out of any in all of these qualifiers. We've only had 1 2-0, and that happened last week. So, statistically speaking, it's all up in the air. What I do know for certain, though, is we are going to see another game, and you're now switching to Willibomb being the favorite. Of course, he only has to play 1 more, but I'm just saying, some call that mercenary behavior.
I'm fine with it, you know? I call it pragmatism, you know? I don't have favorites. Well, I do have favorites, right? I definitely have favorites.
Look,
and I have people that I think are most likely to win. So, like, if I think Willibomb's most likely to win, I'm going to say Willibomb's most likely to take the whole series at this point.
I admire what you call pragmatism. I call faithlessness. But still, talk me through that game from a holistic point of view. Did it play out how you thought it would be, having seen the map? Or were there a couple of surprises here and there?
It was interesting watching how Willibomb did it, because he made it work perfectly for him. Like, the way he looked at his initial start and saw everything that he had. The really big things, the key decisions are, 1, he decided to pick up a workshop on that second city when a lot of players would just go for an explorer.
Yes.
Feel like it's their only chance to get vision. He's like, I see the mountains up there. I'm going to put my mind bender up there, and that's all the vision I'm going to need. And he made that work for him.
He did. A relentless push on the capital, like you were saying. I think that's ultimately what did it. Yeti refusing to take the bait, but it's not enough.
Yeti tried to, you know, shore up, like back up, but he backed up too far. Maybe he could have like played on too, but like he recognized the position he was in. He didn't see like the long term.
That's what I'm saying. Sometimes you've seen the value of being in a losing position, of thinking I'm not going to win this and bowing out instead of playing it to its conclusion, because you can get fatigued. It does sort of drain you mentally to play these games, right? That you know you're going to lose eventually, right? Ramdingler was one that did this and stretched it out all the way to the judge's decision. So it's kind of, having said that, on the flip side, you might think, okay, you know, I know you're going to lose this. I know I'm going to lose this game. I'm going to grind it out. I'm going to make it horrible for you to win this game, because you know for a second that if your mind switches off, I'm there. Which again also has its merit. So when it comes to these sort of competitions, it's not just about who is mechanically better. I mean, you were saying what you consider to be the greatest of all time popped up out of nowhere to participate in the qualifiers last year and got battered by Oplix, who was a very good player in their own right. Doesn't exactly have accolades to their name, like for example, someone like Meisterlamp. You know, so it does change when you're in front of the camera. It does change when you're expected to perform under the bright lights. I mean, we've had 1,200, 1,100 players play just this qualifier, and it's worth shouting out that if you think you can do better than our players, you are absolutely welcome to try. The Kutsali tribe is coming up next week, and the qualifiers are open, as well as all of the tribes that we haven't tested yet. I mean, you're claiming to not be Justini, but you said that Hoodrick's your favorite, right?
Yeah, that's why I like Hoodrick. I back him in the tournament. I want to see him go far.
Okay, right. Is that because you're going to be playing as them?
If Justini makes it as Hoodrick, like
if Justini makes it as Hoodrick, then there's more than just suspicion there. I'm excited to see some Omaji gameplay. But let's have a brief chat as we're about to get going for this next one. What do you think of the next week's tribe? Quetzali.
Quetzali?
Yeah.
Yeah, Quetzali is very similar to Imo in a lot of ways. You know, like kind of group them together as let's call them the mountain tribes, the ones that you might see go for smithery mining stuff much more than the others. You'd group Vengir in there as well, but it's really the core of Imo, Quetzali, and Jinji. And they all made it a little further than some of the other tribes.
They did.
The first 3 qualifiers only lost both their rounds in the face-offs.
Well, this could be the final IMO game if Willibomb does go 2-0 and gets the sweep. But ladies and gentlemen, the second game of the best of 3, potentially the final game of the final, begins now. Take me through what you're seeing here.
Lots of water. Everywhere water, but no water access. I mean, Yeti's got it up to the north, but it doesn't look like it's water access that he really wants. It doesn't connect to anything else. And if you look at the shorelines on Willibomb's perspective, there's little lighter tiled sides that reveal some land tiles further on there. It's just kind of cutting them off. It's just more inconvenient than anything. There's potential for bridges here. I know a lot of people big fans of bridges. I think Eastpark might be doing a little dance right now thinking about that. But it's going to be interesting how this plays out tactically, who gets what village. Like, there's going to be conflict immediately for the southwest one. Even if Willibomb is able to capture it immediately, yeah, Yetipeaks is not going after the further south one, takes this, like, only really sensible village down there. And he's going to be the one in control of those bridge spots after he captures this city, too. Takes them into his city borders. So, yeah, question here is if he picks up forestry. No forestry this time. Oh, goodness, there's just too much going on in the opening.
I can hear you actively getting flustered.
There's actually a big fight. Willibomb, he's got a difficult game ahead of him.
Yes.
Like, he's hemmed in. And normally, like, you're surrounded by a bunch of water, like, whatever, you go for the water. But it's not like there's a giant big lake in the middle for him to take or anything.
Yeah.
It's just hemming him in right now. The water is, double-edged sword, of course. Like, it's keeping Yeti away from him as well. And the villages aren't really opening up to Yeti either. These are all villages that it feels like Willibomb should be able to take. But he has to be working on getting his expansion down faster. I think we have to see some riders from Willibomb, if not now, in the near future. Maybe he'll pick up forestry right now and then go into riding after. Just to pick it up while it's cheap. Climbing instead. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, he sees the number of, like, it's really, I think it's motivated by that village he has in the west.
Yeah, I think so. I think he's going to try and step around this sort of lake because obviously he doesn't know, like you said, the extent to which there is land or isn't land nearby. So he's got a lot of decisions, and frankly, it's a fateful one. When you're in these sorts of moments, it does make things. Oh, forestry as well. It does make things tricky because you kind of have to play perfectly. A lot of people say Polytopia, there's a degree of RNG, and of course that is a big part of the game. But play long enough, and you'll have to deal with good RNG and bad RNG. And it's the better players that can turn a losing position into a winning one. So let's see what Willibomb can do here.
Yeah, I mean, I really like the play that he just made. He got climbing, was able to step on the mountain. He saw the city borders, and he knew that he would get stars traded to him if he went ahead and stepped on that mountain like that. So he picks up the star trade, and he's going to keep his own score just under that 2,000 point threshold too. Trade as few stars as possible if Yetipeaks wants to pick up an explorer on this city. But use those stars to pick up forestry instead of just going straight into forestry. The only, like, cost, not like not to say it was a bad play at all. It was, I think, the best play. But the only problem is that warrior isn't headed towards the center of the map. And Willibomb took a few detours. He took a detour to the lighthouse with his mindbender. He didn't send any units straight towards the southeast at the beginning of the game. And now he's just letting those villages, like, kind of waste away there. And it's not just, like, this one village that he's picking up a little bit later. It's that he slingshots off of that village to pick up everything in the east. And I think he's giving Yeti an easier time accessing some of that eastern part of the map with how he's opened this game. Maybe he'll do something to speed it up, but I'm seeing a lot of conservatism in the way he plays, like not riders, like just with getting climbing and forestry there. So maybe he'll speed it up, maybe he won't. Will it cost him is the question. It's unclear. Yetipeaks for his own is going after some fishing. So he takes up a nice explorer that runs backwards to that awkward to grab west lighthouse.
I am enjoying the fact that every time that one of the players does something, you have a tendency to be very surprised.
I mean, I'm shocked at everything. No. No, it's just that that's the thing about IMO. Like they're so.
I'm doing the same thing
anything
as
is
you
possible.
now.
Yeah. I really like the archers here. Like he'd assembled a ton of warriors around this village. Yeah, Yeti sees the defense bonus on the forest, and he knows that he's in trouble.
Very nice.
If
though.
he
I do like that.
Yeah, he has to go after that attack, even though it's not a great damage trade for him, since it lets his own warrior get killed on the next turn, and he's not even able to finish off Willibomb's warrior here.
Well, so far,
Gives him
Willibomb
a
with 2
6 health
kills,
on
the
defense
Yetipeaks
bonus.
0 gets his own archery.
Yes, that's gonna help protect his warrior up by his capital, keep it on the forest. Yeah, the question I have is, does he save his city? Like he has to train an archer on his capital.
Yeah, he does that. Another warrior, okay.
So he's shutting down Willibomb's attack.
Which he had to do. I mean, Willibomb had to poke to stop Yeti from going too far. But you have to think, is Willibomb committing too much when he should be poking a little bit less? Oh, he is going for it. Well done.
Because he's got the nice
sequence of events there. Obviously, he doesn't know about the archer in the background, but I would say he has to try and disrupt Yeti as much as possible to try and expand himself. I mean, this is for turn 7 at least, it's a very small amount of vision he's got.
Yeah, but that was a huge blunder from Yeti to attack that our warrior that was about to become a veteran like that. And like not only that, but to like train your own warrior on the city, you know that there's like the archer in range, that you're giving him the veteran like that. So he's got a 5 health, 2 health warrior in range, an archer. I can't remember if he trained another archer. No, he's got the other warrior. So he is able to get the unsiege here, but it's a just barely thing, and it's going to give Willibomb a ton of space, like to maneuver his archers around here. Like easy attacks for him. Like he can pick up another siege if he wants as well. So Willibomb, yeah, taking the king's share of this opening right now.
Well, he's doing a lot with what he's got, you know?
Absolutely. I mean, just looking at the number of cities he's equalizing there, and he's really taking away, like, the early aggression, like, whatever potential Willibomb had. Or, sorry, Yeti had. I think this problem is still in the east corner. Like, there's the village that Yetipeaks is stepping on with his warrior right now. That's a different exploration pattern. Like, Willibomb would have kept him off of there. He is picking up riding now. He does...
Riding and roads.
And roads.
Here we go. I mean, you were saying this a couple turns ago.
Yeah, I think this was necessary, like, at some point. I think it was a little delayed, but... and not on the capital. A capital rider would have been for expansion and trying to... Oh, he's gonna chop to get another one on the capital too. Does he? It could be anywhere. What's the chops for? On the south city. Okay. I'm interested in that. I feel like that means he doesn't want to spend too many roads getting his rider into the game, and he wants to keep some population spots on his capital. So, yeah, Yeti's got a nice defense, a nice solid defense with these archers and the way the map is shaped. Like, the two forests are going to stop the riders from breaking through. But, what Willibomb was gaining still wasn't the village. He was close to, but he didn't quite gain the village. What he really gained is space around the village. Like, Yeti's not free to operate his troops in his own territory right now. Which is not quite as good as a village, but you take what you can get. Oh, so, okay, he is putting the two roads down there, so I'm wondering what this rider in the south instead of a rider on the capital is doing. If he was that desperate to free up space around, population space around his capital. Yeah, his archers are in a good position right now, but Yeti's going to be able to break them up. Not too long. He gets his own units to repel Willibomb here. wonder where that mine better was. Yeah, he wants to expand fast, sending the roads out there. I feel like the rider needed to go on cap last turn, because it would have been east of that central city instead of southeast. But yeah, Yeti was setting up something. He's got a few targets with this raft. He was maybe hoping that Willibomb wouldn't have climbing or any way to keep him off the village, the warrior there, but now that Willibomb sent his rider onto the mountain, both players know he's got vision on the village. And Yeti, yeah, I have to train like another archer on his capital to prevent Willibomb's rider from just stepping on that village. And this is vision that Willibomb doesn't have. He does have a level 1 city, so I think we should expect an explorer to come there sometime soon. Just with the fact that he has roads now. He did chop the forest there, so he'll have to pick up some tech like mining or fishing. But both of them fit really nicely into his game plan. Whichever he wants to take. He is going to step straight on there.
Yeah, he doesn't.
Unfortunately, didn't pick up the vision beforehand. It's not going to give up the village to Yeti, but he is going to lose his rider.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. Willibomb has sort of made a game right this time of having favorable traits. I mean, 6 kills to 3 kills is quite nifty. So, to sort of understate it. So that is losing that kind of advantage in a game where he does have an inherent disadvantage is going to be a tricky one. But so far, so good for Willibomb.
Yeah. I mean, just in terms of like, you know, who's putting pressure on who? Like, Willibomb still has a space around Yeti's village.
Yep.
In the center down there. And he's pushing into the east. If he can pick up those few cities in the east as well, a few more, then he should be pretty nice, like into Grand Bazaar, into some kind of giant. He's got a lot of ways to develop his economy. I guess what I'm struggling to see is the big picture. Like, how does he start taking cities from Yeti here? Like, they're set up in, like, you know, such a... I want to say interesting, but I feel like there's something more than just interesting here. The way the map is set up, it's really difficult for either player to launch an attack. And you can tell, because both players have been really trying to. You know, the archers and everything keep things pretty defensive, though. Like, what city does Willibomb target? It feels like the one in the southeast, but he doesn't, like, manage to launch an attack until at least he captures the village further in the east, which should be... Yeti should put into contest to begin with. So it feels like we're a long way out from the fireworks of this game. By any means.
Well, 25 seconds left. Let's have a look to see what Willibomb does. He's thinking hard.
We're going to see a lot of slow improving moves in the immediate future. He is getting a lot of riders, though. So he's keeping the potential alive for an attack. He's not letting Yeti get lazy.
The timer runs out for him. We might be having some issues. We'll see. So what do you think Yeti needs to do?
Well, Yeti's got... he has his own expansion that he needs to focus on. Again, the village in the east is under contest. Like, depends on who's able to pick that up. Yeti doesn't have roads, so he wants to pick those up. Like, he needs riders for that too. There's a lot of stuff like that, and I mean the big thing is that he's got a ton of level 2 cities. Like, it's, you know, just economically optimal. You want to get those cities upgraded to level 3 as possible.
Just want to clarify for people watching right now, the game between Willibomb and Yetipeaks is still ongoing. They don't have any connection issues. They are absolutely fine. We just need to make sure we refresh our POV and we'll be good to go. So the game is still ongoing, and frankly, that was quite a fun point last week. Look at on the bright side, because then it suddenly went from, you know, turn 10 to, like, you know, turn 13, and we're getting a little bit of action that we might not have anticipated. So give me my prediction. When we come back to them ongoing, what would you have expected to happen, and what needs to happen for there to be a resolution here?
The Big things that I'm seeing are in the west, Yeti is 100% using his archers to kick Willibomb off. Willibomb's moved his units from controlling the center to pushing east. He doesn't have any immediate attack with that though, so I think Yeti might try to regain some space there. He might even try to drop a unit into the port and capture that village over in the west, although I doubt Willibomb will allow that. I hope Willibomb will take an explorer on that Dito city, maybe pick up fishing to do it, or mining. Whatever helps him giant best. Problem is, he's got some...
Like I said, we're just going to rejoin the game real quick. The Willibomb and Yetipeaks are currently still playing. We're going to be right back to the action in any given moment. I want to see if any of your predictions are correct here. We'll see. You're about this could be a fraud check. I'm not going to lie. This is big for you. Let's find out. Take me through it.
Yeah, so mining... picked up. There is contest riding. He did kick him off the village. He'll miss that a couple turns.
Yeah, 2 turns.
Yeah, some roads. That sword getting closer in.
9 kills to 7. I mean, it looks like that village out in the west is firmly defended by that archer. We'll play for Yetipeaks to keep that sort of protection going. But it does feel to me, at least, looking at what we have now, the court is very much in Yetipeaks'. The ball is very much in Yetipeaks'.
I wonder what the ruin that warrior picked up was. It might have been population, because where was the population for this giant without that? Might see an explorer here? Yep. Nice explorer picks up the, really importantly, like the lighthouse of course, but also just the village, and sees exactly what Yetipeaks might be doing to try to get that. Willibomb's advantage is that he's got roads, so... no issues there. And confirm ruin was population. Okay, let's go. I gotta keep my job and my life.
No.
So really nice. We need to see like Willibomb mobilize and push further east here with his units. I think what Willibomb would love to do is drop that veteran swordsman into the action, but the mindbender is preventing that. Could pick up like a some 2-road thing, like archer and swordsman. The swordsman would protect the archer as it gets closer, control space. Right now he's just waiting for Yeti to step on that village, and then he'll pick him off, bounce onto the ruin. What else? How does he want to use his archer? Does he pull it back?
Just want to add some clarification. The ruin was in fact population.
Yes, sir. Okay. Nice veteran archer that he's willing to get killed here.
Great way to phrase that. Look, sacrifices have to be made, alright? You wouldn't understand.
You're right on that. So this warrior might be re-angling to step on that village in the west again here. Otherwise, if Willibomb's able to keep him off it, or bigger Yeti fears that he might be able to keep him off of it, probably see him step on that North ruin as well. It's a very classy choice of ruin in the last case anyways, that able to get him straight back into the port. The North ruin not really allowing that. So we can pick up some roads from Yeti, and yeah, Yeti's smart. He sees what's going on in the east. He sees Willibomb walking away from the village, and he's like, yeah, you have vision. You see the lighthouse. You know everything. Mm-hmm. Not going to give up that village so easily. Just going to keep the tension, keep it under contest right away. Some road connections into potential for another giant down there, like North Lighthouse as well. He gets the village and able to pick up that unclaimed village in the west and the South Lighthouse. Yet he's got another monument for him. I guess speaking of monuments, both players, Willibomb has his killer monument but hasn't placed it, and Yetipeaks seems to be just one turn away from picking up his own killer monument. So how they want to use those? Really, it could go anywhere per choice. Nothing screamingly obvious. It'll be a very characteristic decision, whatever they choose. I mean, Willibomb's delaying well, he didn't really have anywhere to put his killer monument, did he? nowhere benefits from that repopulation with having 0 stars like he ended last turn on. Or at least the 1 star he ended last turn on. But he's got that decision to make now. Using his archers defensively, and yeah, keeping his warrior to police that village over in the west. Cannot allow that warrior to step on uncontested. But yeah, the problem is if that giant advances in. I don't know. I guess Yeti wouldn't want to. It does get him the village to advance the giant in and prevent this rider from prevent this archer from taking advantage of the roads. But he loses so much giant health that it's hard to see Yeti going for a play that aggressive for a village that's unspectacular. Is he going to go for it? He steps on the village. Yeah, okay. No, what he does instead is he just shoots the archer. Much more simple. Keeps his own giant with the defense bonus. Oh, wow. Okay, an explorer is going to pick up that last lighthouse for him.
There you go.
Making this village capture all that much better.
And there was another village just there all along.
Yeah. Send a rider back. Yeah, but as soon as Yeti picks up that village, he should take an explorer and get the last lighthouse for Eye of God I'm talking about. Seems like another village to grab. Easy enough to connect these and get your Grand Bazaar, so he's going to be playing with a lot of monuments very soon. But very soon isn't now. His principal concern is dealing with this veteran swordsman. He has his Mindbender helping protect his village, so no worries there. Got his Mindbender up in the north, protecting his archers too. So yeah, I mean Yeti sees seems like he has his bases covered really. The 2 Mindbenders. The swordsman can't kill any of those units without getting converted, so Willibomb's not going to use it for anything. Keeping him really hemmed in while he just expands to his last 3 villages on the map. And the population for another giant on his capital. Yeti has... he's just going to keep the tension in the middle. Say, you can't advance there and I'm fine with that. His big attack is going to be down this left half of the map. Down the southwest. Straight to Willibomb's capital. We might,
Spirit and Chivalry, okay.
Yes, there you go. That's how you deal with the giant archer chains and defense by Mindbenders. Just chain all of them. Unfortunately, it doesn't have the stars to pick it up. I think maybe could have played with this more in mind. Skip training the rider in the south, and then gone after like a disband somewhere to train a knight this turn. Have the stars for that. And just having the knight, being able to threaten that you have a knight, is really most of the fight.
Ooh.
Oh, he's disbanding right in Yeti's vision. He knows that Yeti sees this. He doesn't care. But yeah, I mean, it's exactly what I was saying too. Like, it doesn't matter if the knight is going to be
does get the knight though this turn.
Giant chain. It just needs to be there.
Yep.
So that your opponent can't like clump up their units like that.
Well, I mean, there is some opportunity here, and the knight is one of those units that can change a losing position into a winning one. So we'll have to see. Willibomb obviously does have 12 kills to Yetipeaks 9. He's going to have to extend that quite a lot further if he wants to make up this sort of difference here. What do you reckon? Do you think we're going to see a little bit of a knight chain go on?
I doubt it, because I'm absolutely positive that Yetipeaks is picking up this village in the west and taking an explorer. So he will see the knight. And if he didn't see the knight, he saw the units getting disbanded. So he knows what's going on. Like, Yetipeaks say a lot of things about him. Polytopia fool? No, can't say that one.
Well, I can say that you thought he was going to lose this game.
I didn't think he was going to lose this game. I thought he was going to lose the series, which is this game or the next one.
It can still happen. Of course, it can still happen. But that is, I mean...
I'm already talking about the next game.
Well, it's an overwhelming force, isn't it? It is sort of tricky. What does Willibomb need to do to rebuff this, do you think? What does he need to happen? Well, what are the criteria? What does Yeti have to mess up, essentially, for him to do that?
Yeah, Yeti sees the knight. So... the problem is, look at the units he's already moved over in the east. They are out of range of this knight, but imagine like Willibomb giant pushes, gets the knight closer into range, and then picks up some big chain over on that east city, able to grab the city further east of that as well. It seems like, I called it that Yeti's strategy seems to be pushing in the west while he keeps the tension in the east. The problem for him is if that tension, he isn't able to control it, and Willibomb breaks through over there. Like, if his only defense are these, units that are, that knights are able to chain through all of them, pick up kills on every single one of them, then Willibomb just has to get that once, and that's a huge swing in his favor. It looks like he's already, with his, veteran swordsman, going for advantage and stealing this city over in the east that Yeti was maybe hoping there would be more contest over. The giants are tricky. We're seeing, the 2 monuments that we're talking about getting placed, and he's just using them for stars. He's not going after giants with them, not like positioning 2 of them together or anything like that. So, border growth here? One assumes? We're not seeing a giant either way, and it does control some of the tiles that make the knight annoying. But no border growth. Looking for some way to pick up a giant in the future. I'm actually amazed he doesn't have climbing. That's incredible. I was looking around and I'm like, no, there's no way that not a single one of his mountains has a mine. That's really crazy that turn 15 he still hasn't picked up climbing. I mean, it's going to be really cheap for him to pick it up regardless. But I was evaluating, where is he getting the last population on this city? And it seems like Smithery is in the cards, but how far away is that if you don't even have climbing yet? Willibomb getting, let's say, tickled over in the west.
Tickled, I think, when a city's on fire might be a little bit of an understatement. We're going to have to see how he responds here. And frankly, he doesn't have that long to do it. Only a minute. You have to think, is he teetering on the precipice of giving in? Who can speak to this man's mind? I mean, it's 20 units to 12. It's 26 stars to 17. He's got to do something here.
I mean, Willibomb is not the type of player to drag out a game. Ooh, there it is. Just like we were talking about.
Nice.
What if he giant pushes in, and picks up all these roads? He needs a couple more roads, though. What's he disbanding? I mean, one question's he's disbanding the giant.
What?
Okay, I think this is a very nice chain, though.
It's bold. It's incredibly bold. I like it. Disbanding a giant to get the stars required? Sir! Hello! Oh, it's beautiful. Oh, it's beautiful. But he does resign.
Yeah, it's just a proof. It's just a proof of I could get the chain.
Nice. Well, I like
it's
it.
Not
I
to help him
respect
win.
it. It is 1-1. He just wanted to do it. That'll be why he got rid of the giant there, chaps. We are going to game 3. Yetipeaks showing yet again why he was the IMO's representative. These players are going to be going at it right after this little chat that we're going to have. What do you think of that game?
That was a beautiful game. That was probably maybe my favorite of the games we've seen so far. Just how back and forth it was. Both players, you know, how they were playing around it, what they did. It just shows the diversity of strategies that IMO offers and the depth. Just how many different things Willibomb could have gone for there. I think Yetipeaks, he had many other strategies. I think he just selected the route, he just knew.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, it's not I couldn't see any mistakes really with Yetipeak. These players are very, very close in sort of skill. It's 1-1 at this point. Are you going to change your mind again?
Well, yeah, now that it's 1-1. This is like a Monty Hall problem, right? They're going to ask you, do you want to switch doors? And you always say yes. Because your chances went from 1 and 3 to 1 and 2.
Apart from it's not, these are human beings behind the doors.
There's a goat behind the door.
there's no goat in these doors. Right.
No.
Like we said, these players are going to be playing the final game. We've gone all the way to our little grand final here. You now think it's Yetipeaks. I've been staying with Willibomb the entire time. Will it be the incumbent? Will it be the usurper? I think is a good term. If we're going for royalty, I think that that kind of works. And of course, the question remains, will the IMO tribe go all the way? Because Yetipeaks played as the IMO tribe before, did not make it to the grand final in Stockholm. Was one of the tribes to fall. So only 8 tribes are going all the way. The IMO might be one of them. What do you think IMO's chances are of getting to Sweden?
I mean, if you look at what happened last year, right? Like, he took it all the way to the second round, and he had a very tight series against one of the favorite tribes, one of the favorite players, Meisterlamp with Luxador to win. So there's absolutely no shame in like having a series like that, but you got this close. Yeah, I think he has like the chances like that you saw with a tribe like Jin. I think they're really comparable in a lot of ways. It really depends on who he gets matched up against as IMO.
So who do you think, having seen the games, will represent the IMO better, Yetipeaks or Willibomb?
Ooh, that one's really tough. I feel we've really what you get with IMO, what makes them so unique and like what they're strongest at is what they can do, like how diverse they are in all the different strategies. And I feel we've seen, you know, the greater ability to pull out that diversity from Yetipeaks. I'd love to see Willibomb go for like a super aggressive tribe somewhere else in the tournament maybe. But I have to say, pulling it back to Ratatouille, all comes back to Ratatouille. Willibomb watched Ratatouille with me, Yetipeaks did not. So I do have a favorite here.
Well, that's what I'm
I do
trying
have
to
some
say.
cards in the game. I think if Willibomb is able to pull off the Ratatouille strategy against Yetipeaks...
You can't call it strategy. The strategy is stay up all night watching movies. That's not a strategy.
It took him here. It took him all the way to the grand finals.
I mean, yeah.
He might represent the tribe 1-1.
Yes, it is 1-1. A quick reminder of the journey so far. Majak goes 2-0 against Forlong, but then falls to Willibomb, who himself beat TI in a 2-1 series. Then we had Viking the Cat versus Ducks. Let's not forget that Viking the Cat, a regular, frankly, in these sorts of final stages, I guess, of this sort of 1,200-man qualifier. Was late. Ducks goes 1-1. And, of course, then loses to Yetipeaks, who beats the Liberator, one of the finalists. Ducks goes 2-1, Willibomb 2-0, and then we are now 1-1. That's the journey so far. In case you just got here, you are just in time because Willibomb and Yetipeaks are going to go toe-to-toe one more time to decide who is going to be the finalist for the IMO tribe. Let's find out who that's going to be. We have one more match.
All right, you're seeing a little where are my resources moment. We've got a couple ways that we could explore here, some fruits north and south, but heading that Mindbender north, a little safer. Yeah, Yetipeaks has really no choice. Getting funneled into the center, all the resources over there. I imagine this warrior will head west after seeing that, or south. Okay. South was the initial guess. I thought after seeing the village where it was, we'd just push straight west. But south is absolutely my second suggestion there. See how that plays out for Yeti in picking up the center quickly. It looks like there is the big central lake here. Maybe it's a question of how big it is still, but I've seen this play out time and again. Wow, interested to see him push and clear the south fog. I guess it just makes sense. I think he's angling to pick up an explorer on whatever village he gets with that warrior. And also maybe looking at picking up a ruin along the edge of the map. We're seeing hunting. The decision is now, do I pick up forestry as well? There's just not quite that much to chop if you pick up forestry. You can pick up a upgrade on your capital like after forestry, but you'd have to chop away everything else. So instead, we're just going to get the workshop right away, and I imagine we'll see Org maybe pick up the second upgrade there.
Mm-hmm.
So this warrior in the south, this is why I was imagining we'd go west with it instead. Where's the village? Where's the ruin? Where's the anything down in the south? It's just not very immediate, and also the stuff that it runs into. Maybe there's a little isthmus running through the center of this map. But it feels like you're not in the most competitive area. Like the villages you're taking were kind of maybe guaranteed to be yours regardless. So very nice, very well set up explorer from Willibomb. Does it go all the way to the lighthouse? One tile short of the lighthouse.
Not quite.
Wow.
Final hurdle. Very interesting map this though, isn't it?
Yes. One we haven't seen today anyways. This is normally, there's a kind of quote, or like a little, I'm gonna call it aphorism for playing on lakes. If you can win on land, win on land. If you have to go in the water, go in the water. Usually, if you're able to push them from the land, just like steal other cities, and they won't have time to get set up on the water and push you like that. The thing here is, generally you'll look at that and say, hey, is there a big land connection in the middle? Then we're gonna play on land mostly. Maybe we'll get into a stalemate that's solved by the water later on, like we saw in the very first game with Willibomb, the Bombers, the Juggernauts. But in this case, the land doesn't seem like it's big enough to support that kind of push, so we might see it settled on two distinct lakes that are just completely cut off by this land here. We've seen sometimes where it's mostly cut off by land, but they still connect for like a single tile or something, but it looks like we have two very distinct bodies of water that the players are going to be competing with each other over. And I feel that we're going to see them fighting each other in the water this game.
We'll give that away to the lakes.
Go for, like, cloaks.
I think you're absolutely correct. I think it's going to be a big water game here. I don't see them fighting on the tiny little stretches of land there. Although that does mean that any sort of larger units, giants and such, on that little strip of land will probably get attacked from both sides. You might see a more cagey game than we've seen from these two previously.
Yeah, I think the really interesting thing is that there's two bodies of water. Normally, water matches just you can get set up on the water before your opponent, like try to fight them while they're still getting set up in the ports. You have a huge advantage there, like stealing candy from a baby. But here, like if you get set up in the one lake, your opponent might just get set up in the other one. And it's very interesting and asymmetrical, very rare type of map. So it's really testing these players, like not their preparation, but like their ability to think on the fly and like come up with things strategically, really. Seeing climbing just for that ruin, maybe also pick up the lighthouse before the ruin for Yeti. Going to help him out in getting this explorer done. Pick up some more vision.
Is he gonna go both? Oh, not quite.
Yeah. Now Yeti settles into a think. What do you want to do? I think he's going to... He's already got fishing. I think he's going to use that farming ruin. That's... do you see the farms, Leaf?
Wait, I'm straining. I'm zooming in. Enhancing.
Yeah.
No.
A little unfortunate for Willibomb. A little unfortunate ruin for Willibomb. But give him the score increase, I guess. Maybe the intimidation factor.
Yeah, that's exactly. Hey, you know, that's when people say cost is a padding and we go intimidation factor from the score. Yeah, he's looking at the score right now. Any second now his opponent's going to immediately quit, I think. On the basis of that, he's going to assume he's been given the best technology from there. Love to see.
How does he want to deal with this? So, I think Willibomb's northern city is pretty vulnerable, but with the mindbenders and you know how he can tuck it to that tile west of the city, he should be able to defend it, although it may not be the most useful for him. It's not under any immediate threat though. He's gonna pick up an explorer here, yeah, and runs in little circles, but does pick up vision on the intruding mindbender and the lighthouse enough to get that level 3 pot and the 5 stars back on the capital, if I could speak. So we're seeing here this port. This was pretty predictable. He's trying to go after that village down the south, and this is the port that gets him to it fastest. Willibomb's got to go after this village instead of the ruin here. He might love to, but no choice. We're gonna see him pick up roads here. None of this is helping him get set up on the water. Wow. Okay. So he's going to use forestry, and he has to chop one more forest here. But he's going to kick Yeti off of the central village.
Nice.
Sending 3 roads to do it. I mean, that's how it's done. Yeti doesn't really have any way to take this back immediately anyways.
This is what Willibomb's good at, is he sees that sort of weakness and exploits it quite effectively. He does push when necessary. Sometimes it can be over-aggressive, but I think that's a fantastic little push there to deny the village.
I feel like, looking at it in a couple ways, right? One, it's a long-term liability in a map where Willibomb already had that northern city a long-term liability. And then 2, in terms of like grand strategy, if we were talking about these games being played on the water, right? Like Yeti's getting himself set up on the water. Willibomb is not. All his stars are going into, first it was going into roads, but after this it's going to be into defending these cities. And I feel like he can defend them, but the question is, when Yeti gets set up on the water, will it be enough? Especially because look how surrounded this village is and how difficult it is for Willibomb to get units into it. He's got the cities he needs for his Grand Bazaar, but they're also spread out. That I'm wondering about, like, how many stars do you need in roads to, like, manage that? So it is good. It is good for Willibomb, no doubt. My only question, maybe I can say concern here, is, like, is he able to keep this? And yeah, the scout like that, oh goodness. I feel like there was a potential to be more devastating.
Yeah, I agree.
For Yeti with the scout. I feel like Yeti should have attacked the warrior on the southwest city instead. If he'd done that, imagine Willibomb captures, the scout shoots again, clearing the village, and now Yeti's other raft goes in and sieges. Yeti already has the units he needs to make it difficult for this middle city. He doesn't need to pile on more there, really. But if he was, splitting his attention between these 2 cities, and probably even stealing the one in the southwest, I feel it could have been more effective. But he goes after the middle village, setting up this siege here. Does he take an explorer here? Yeah. And Willibomb's very aggressive with these explorers. But he's aggressive in, I think it's too much. I feel like, yeah, he's going after Eye of God here, trying to defend himself, like, some way, somehow. He misses out on the East Lighthouse, though. Yeah, he's chopping everything. He does not want to try to keep this village. Takes an explorer, says, you're not getting the extra 1-star per turn, you're not getting the forests on this, it's gonna be a bad village for you. That's what I spent the roads on. So good strategy. A good play, like, recognize when it's lost. Oh, but healing the rider was not it. This scout should be able to pick up an easy kill on it. I mean, depends on if he values the 7 health rider or the 1 attack on his scout more. You could also step on the starfish while he does this. It's a difficult starfish for him to pick up later, but it'd be very convenient to do so now. I mean, everything's looking Yetipeaks. Oh, that was a misclick. That was a misclick. Ooh. He has climbing. He's taking a break, taking a breather. He's got 3 minutes on his
it
clock.
Sounds like you're coping, but hey. Oh, nice.
Yeah, he's gonna go after
It's gonna be an uphill battle for Willibomb. Yetipeaks does look like he might be the first defending champion to sort of maintain as such. And frankly, it's a testament to the widened and deepened talent pool that we have access to this time around that this has not happened yet. But he could be the first. And again, an impressive achievement given the difference in quality, I would say, from this year to last year. We've had former champions, I mean, of the tribes go out in quarterfinals. So it's a tricky one, right? Riding now.
Doesn't want to spend the last 2 stars on any warriors. Probably saving for roads of his own. I imagine he's like, if Willibomb had 2 villages that was difficult to defend, the one in the center and the one up north, I imagine Yeti's angling to take the one up north in the near future. But yeah, Willibomb's going after this, like, while he can. Question. Yeah, no fishing. The mountain's gonna block him.
Oh, that's.
This is difficult. I think Willibomb's looking at like all the hours he put in, and I think the ratatouille strategy isn't working for him.
It hasn't. I think it might have been backfire here. I think you've personally cost him this. It's crazy that you get to cast the match.
I can't even disagree.
Caused, you know?
Honestly, I can't even disagree.
Still, there is also potential for Yeti to make a mistake. He is, of course, human. He is, of course, fallible by that very definition.
We've seen him make mistakes.
I mean, we saw him make a mistake. We did see him misclick earlier. So, you never know. A significant enough misclick with these mindbenders around, and it could be curtains.
Yeah, the problem for Willibomb is it looks like he's got the the 2 lumber huts on his capital already. Since he's not connecting this city over in the east, his giant just became much more expensive. It's gonna have to require him to take the one in the north.
He's also struggling with time a lot. We've seen in this game. Usually he's a little bit quicker than this. And I want to call everyone's attention to something that you said a couple of weeks ago, which was very, I thought, prescient, which was it's better to think on your opponent's time than it is to think on your own. So Yetipeaks has been looking at the map the entire time that Willibomb had spent taking his turn. And so it means that you can increase that time pressure a little bit more each time. But we do see a siege up north. Can Willibomb respond to that?
What Willibomb's option is he can... This is already... Like, the tactics are set up here. Willibomb, if he wants to keep the village, has to use his Mindbender to unsiege. But then what happens is on the next turn, Yeti uses his own Mindbender to take the rider out and uses his rider to kill Willibomb's Mindbender. The other option Willibomb has is to Mindbend Yeti's Mindbender. So allow him to take the city. He would lose his Mindbender and the city.
He's done just that.
Yep. But the Mindbender would survive 1 turn longer, and then he can get the siege off. Maybe bring his.
But it's done.
In. No, he's
it's
just resigning.
Done.
Yeah.
The Doomed Square was what it was called, and it was thus. Yetipeaks takes the throne, retains it as well. 2-1. I mean, you should have doubted him. You should not have doubted him. And frankly, it didn't feel like you did.
No, I mean, like, you see Yeti, like, what I was saying, like, that map especially shows off, like, Imo's ability to reward strategy and that, like, kind of novel strategic thinking, like, developed on the fly.
And as we can see here, a long, hard-fought journey for Yetipeaks. Not having a single clean game, but frankly, it's in those moments you find out who the best players are. Can you go after adversity? Can you play under these kinds of pressures, under these kinds of environments? And he has answered that with a resounding yes here today. Ladies and gentlemen, your IMO champion is going to be Yetipeaks, and there's a chance he'll be one of those few that makes it all the way to Stockholm. And if you pick up a ticket, you can meet him live if he does that. Oh, what do you think? Is he a good representation of the IMO?
I cannot think of a single better person to represent IMO. Like, you know, just in terms of like the skill, like the dedication to the tribe, like you know, the care about the craft, everything. Like the way he plays too, like the diverse strategies. Like there's no one better, and that's why he made it 2 years in a row like this.
I mean, that's the IMO done. If you at home think that you maybe could do better as a different tribe, you can sign up next week. We do have the Quetzali tribe, the qualifiers which are open right this second. We've already had about 100, 200 people sign up, and it's all going to come ahead the next live stream. But take me through a very brief overview of what we can expect to see with this tribe.
Quetzali is the nerd tribe. I'm sorry to say it. People love them. But like they're for like, you know, the technical minded people who like, you know, care about like, hey, are you setting up your markets that you're going to place on like turn 9? Like, are you thinking about that on turn 2? If you're not going to, you're going to have some problems with Quetzali, perhaps. But they have a lot of similarities with IMO in like rushing archers. So they can be very aggressive or very economic. You have to like, you know, put your ear to the ground, listen to what the map's giving you.
Well, I think from what I'm gathering here, an incredibly meticulous tribe. And so probably favoring maybe, like you said, those more technical players, those sort of slower players. Still, I think the IMO, having said that, the IMO we said was going to be measured. We said late game. We said those words. And yet, we had some rapid fire games. I think all the players performed very, very well today. Ladies and gentlemen, that is it for us with the IMO qualifiers. We'll be back next week with the Quetzali qualifiers. Make sure to do all of the relevant things. Join the Discord. Get involved yourself. Buy any tickets and merch that you see fit. And we'll see you all next week. Goodbye.